Hello interwebs, I hope you're all doing well. Before I get into the meat of this video, I want to apologize quickly for this disheveled yet makeup look I've got going on right now. I was filming a video earlier today for my video essay channel, so I had the makeup on, made myself look all pretty, but I also have now taken down all the equipment and stuff for that video and that film shoot, so I started looking all disheveled and such. So, whenever I finish a video essay and I put everything away and all my equipment and stuff, it creates this unique little beautiful look you get in front of you. Just an interesting quirk when you're doing all of the equipment and filming and starring in your own videos yourself. Anyways, regardless of how I look right now, I wanted to have a quick little discussion around something that I've been feeling lately after I recently made the decision to step away from posting as much on Twitter, as well as posting video essays as regularly on my main video essay channel. And there was numerous reasons and factors that went into both of those decisions. For one, for the video essay channel, I'm working on big projects, bigger things, so I want more time to take with them and make them better. And then with Twitter, there was a lot of nonsense, just the constant toxicity and vitriol, as well as just reactive takes that were going on Twitter, and a bunch of other stuff as well. But the surprising emotion that I've been feeling lately over the past couple weeks since I made the Twitter decision especially was this surprising sense of withdrawal that I've been feeling from not constantly having the stimulation of people reacting to things that I said or tweets that I made, or even the fact that my video essays aren't as regular over the past couple weeks. I've seen a slowing down of comments on my channel, and the sense of withdrawal that I felt just as an impetus when I noticed that I was like, oh, I'm getting less notifications because I haven't tweeted as much, was this surprising sense of oh, that's a value judgment on me as a person. People are going to forget me or stop caring about me, or I am less worthwhile as a person because I haven't seen as many comments or I haven't seen as many tweet notifications. And it made me think more and more about how we in our society view attention as value of ourselves as human beings, and as a result, we constantly seek and desire attention. We live in a world where, being noticed, being seen is more valuable than what you're actually saying. To be seen means that people are noticing and caring about you in some way, shape, or form, whether it be positive or negative. And we also live in a society that is constantly making us feel more and more isolated and lonely for various different reasons. Isolated by, technology, isolated by, pandemics, isolated by just the way the world is set up. And because of the fact that we are so, continually more and more isolated from each other, we tend to have this emotional need for people to notice us because we're human beings. We're social animals to a large extent, some people more than others, but all of us have a desire to be in interaction and community with other people. And so when we live in a world that is continually isolating us more and more, attention feels like care, like community. It's not really, but it feels like it because at least it's some form of stimulation coming from other people reacting to you. But as a result of that constant need to get attention, we constantly feel like we need to create stimulus to put out into the world that people can react to. Constantly make takes, constantly make tweets, constantly make content over and over and over again so that we get attention over and over and over again and feel like we're valuable. And yet we also live in a culture that makes our, stuff that we put out consumable. It's content. It's not just opinions, thoughts, conversations that we're having. It's a piece of something to consume. And therefore, people have takes on it and then can have reactive takes to it or pushing back against it. And it just constantly fuels this reactive feeling that we have with each other, as opposed to earnestly willing to listen to each other, to actually have meaningful conversations. We tend to be reacting, and it constantly feeds this reactive culture that we have today. And because even more so when we have our reactive culture, we also feed into a culture of very binary viewpoints and polarized viewpoints. So we have to see everything, not only something we're reacting to, but either have to be for or against. And it creates that antagonistic discussion that we have. And so all that sort of fuels this idea of us constantly putting things out in the world for attention, to be seen, but then people sort of taking that and fueling a reactive culture where we're constantly bouncing off of each other, constantly viewing each other as in some sort of competition with each other instead of in communication and conversation with each other. And all of this goes back to that feeling that I had around self-worth that I had felt was being tied to the fact that I wasn't getting as much attention because I have made this active choice to slow down in what I make and slow down in what I tweet about and things like that. And I had to actively fight that impulse of like, no, you're not less of a person. No, people don't care less about you. There may be people who aren't thinking about me as much, but that's not care. That's just attention. And I had to actively think and sit with that for a moment and be like, Jessie, you're making things that you care about. I'm working on videos that I care about today, working on projects that I care about. I'm trying to make sure the things that I make are meaningful to me. But I had to actively remind myself of that because the impulse would just I got to put something out right now. I got to get something out right now so that I'm in the conversation, so that people care about me, so that people value me. That fear of being forgotten, of being missed. I had to remind myself that wasn't the case. I'm at a very lucky place right now. And this isn't true for everybody because, again, we live in a world that makes you have to constantly put attention so you can make money and pay your bills. But I'm in a very lucky place because of many of you out there that I can slow down and focus on making things that are meaningful to me. That's a very lucky place to be in, and thank you for that gift. But it's scary that you feel that even at the place that I'm at. It's like I feel scared sometimes about I'm going to become irrelevant or meaningless because I'm not constantly putting out content as much. There's not that constant dopamine drip that I get. And just having that stark realization was kind of shocking to me. There's so many more things that I could talk about with this. This has been kind of a ramble, so I apologize for that because there's so many more things I could connect to this. I could connect to how people say, really horrific and bigoted things, transphobic things, because it does get them attention, even more so, when you say there are only two genders in a tweet or whatever, I'm not talking about anyone specific right now, people react to that positively or negatively because it is a transphobic and hurtful thing to, put out there, and it gets you more attention. And we don't really care about whether it's positive or negative attention. It's just attention, and that's all that matters. Yeah, it's just, I could talk about so many things that jumping off of this, but it was just something that all stemmed from a feeling I was having about my own sense of self-worth because I didn't see tweet notifications go up. And I had to sit there and think about what that actually meant. So, interesting stuff. Hope you're all taking care of yourselves. Hope you're all doing well. And again, thank you to all of you for supporting me and allowing me the chance to have this realization and realize that what I'm doing is focusing on my mental health and getting to also focus on making meaningful stuff, not just stuff. So, thank you for that. Take care, everyone.